Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on Christmas in September. I'm going to be scrapbooking these photos of our oldest daughter at my husband's company Christmas party in 2015. I have some more bits and pieces from my combination Hip Kit Club Christmas kits. I've used all the full sheets of paper now, but I have quite a few scraps and tons of embellishments left. Pulled out a white cardstock and some of the scraps of pattern paper, some of the puffy dots, enamel dots, some ephemera. Tried to go ahead and sort them out. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I will be right back.
All right, I thought I might trim that square down, but I actually decided not to. And I'm going to just put it in kind of the middle. It's actually going to be more towards the top of the white pattern paper than the actual middle. I am also going to be using this piece of stripe pattern paper as an anchoring point on my layout. I'm going to just kind of plop it right there. And I have trimmed down the landscape photo to 4x4, and I'm going to put those right where you see them. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adhering those photos because, you know, we should probably adhere photos. But I don't always do that on camera, and I did on camera here because I knew that this would be a relatively short video if I didn't show more of the steps. I have some ephemera pieces picked out. That was a little, basically a Christmas tab, and I put it underneath that right photo. I have some floral bits and leaves from my ephemera pack that I'm going to plop up there in that upper right hand corner. I have a Santa and a tree and a little phrase that says something like Santa is coming that I'm going to put over on the lower left side of that photo, of the left hand photo. I also have a floral bit and some leaves that I'm going to tuck underneath there. I have this tag, which I'm going to use as an anchor point for my round journaling space. I have the word Santa and another floral bit that I'm going to tuck behind there. I'm going to go ahead and tie this twine bow, and I will adhere the twine bow with a glue dot. That is my adhesive of choice for twine. I'm going to go ahead and start adhering all of the bits and pieces down to my layout. Since I didn't use mixed media just yet on this layout, I did want to make sure I had everything glued down where I wanted it to go. I'm alternating between the ATG and my liquid glue. I typically use the ATG for photos and pattern papers and larger pieces of ephemera that I'm not going to be using fun foam on. And as you saw there, I pulled out my glue dot and used it to adhere the twine. So I'm using liquid adhesive behind the tree, and I believe I grabbed some fun foam to put behind Santa. I'm going to trim it down just so that I can get a couple of pieces on there that fit fairly close. All I want is a little bit of lift. It doesn't need to cover the whole back of the piece of ephemera. And I'm going to just put him right back where he was. I considered putting foam adhesive on the phrase, but decided not to, and just dropped it, which was not good. And decided to pull out that, it's actually a holly berry twig that I pulled out from behind that floral piece, and I went ahead and glued that flower up there towards the top of Santa's head, and I added one of the enamel dots to the center, and I'm going to do that with the other two floral pieces up at the top right hand side. But first I want to get some foam adhesive behind. This is going to end up being my title. I did try to use the silver letters, didn't like it. The title was too long, and I decided that it was already wordy enough with the ephemera pieces that I had put on here. I did put these two flowers up on some foam adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and add an enamel dot to each center. I like that look. It gives it a little bit of sparkle and shine. And now I'm going to add some more of these enamel dots down in various places on my layout. I'm going with the larger dots to do this because I always find it hard to use those. So I try to make sure I use those up first. And so I only put 3. And then if you see that little tray of tiny ephemera pieces, that little triangle tray that's over on the right hand side, I'm going to try to use up several of those like I would enamel dots. They're mostly silver stars that's going to end up on here, but there are some other little black and white like hand-drawn stars that I'm going to get on here as well. But I was trying to use up as many of those as possible. I discovered that having all of this Christmas ephemera in one little container was really hard for me to dig through each time I wanted to work with this kit, and especially since it's mostly embellishments that are left over. So I did separate like the flowers and these little bitty pieces out to make it a little easier to go through. I may sort it further the next time I pull this kit out. I know you saw my kitty cat jump up on my desk. I did grab him and put him back down on the floor. He was very offended, y'all. He was not happy. He actually sat there and stared at me, waiting for me to do the right thing. You know how cats are. So I'm moving things out of my space now, and I'm going to try to go through these silver letters. And I do try to put them on here in 2 different places, and it just didn't work. So I started with the smaller font, hoping that it would work, but you know, I just didn't like it. There was not enough space in either place. I tried it, and then I was looking at it and thinking, you know, there's enough words on this layout. I don't really need to add a title just because I want to use up these silver letters. I'm going to have to make a point of using these letters for a title on one of my Christmas pages, and soon. So it's here where I decide, nope, this is not going to work in this spot. There is not enough room. These letters are way too big. And so I try to put them up at the top, and I get a few letters on here, and I don't like that either. I think it probably would have fit better, but it just wasn't the look that I was going for. And so I get, again, about half of the word on there, and I'm like, nope, nope, I don't like this. Actually, it looks like I'm going to get most of the word on there before I decide, this is not happening. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the letters back off once again, put them back on the sheet they came from to use another time. I am trying to get them exactly where I pulled them from so that I don't lose a letter, especially the S's. You know, we always run out of the S's, and the E's. Always run out of E's too first. I want to make sure I get everything back on here so that I have it. I'm going to clear my space again. And I'm going to cut some packaging down, and I'm going to place it over both photos because I'm going to add some splatters to this layout. Like I said, I didn't put mixed media on it in the beginning. I just wanted to add splatters to this layout, and so that is all I'm going to do here. This is it's a Distress Oxide. It is, I can't think of what it's called, Lost Shadow, I think, or Hickory Smoke. It might be Hickory Smoke. And I'm going to use that on and around those embellishment clusters, and then I will call it done. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and subscribe. There is a playlist or a list of the players below. Make sure you grab that list and watch each of these ladies create some beautiful Christmas layouts. You have a great rest of your Monday. Bye.